Welcome, Guthrie Sports Page Television. Chris Evans with Rafe Watkins and Coach here on a rainy Wednesday afternoon. And usually your hardest day of practice. How'd it go today?
Well, it wasn't too bad for it to be in the rain and stuff. It was nice and cool. And kids, footing was a little bit bad. It got slick toward the end of practice, but not too bad an effort today. I was very pleased with it being a Wednesday and having to have a great practice. We did a very good job today.
Sure would be nice to have an indoor facility built right now, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, but I don't know that would be in it because unfortunately we're not playing in a dome Friday night, and if it's raining, we're going to be out in it anyway. So this is what would be in it anyway.
Getting ready for the Reno Indians, and Coach, it was a pretty good half a year ago against a very good Reno team, and they bring back a lot of faces, including new head coach Tom Cobble, who's had a lot of success everywhere he's gone.
Yeah, Coach Cobble, was out there. That's really where Reno had their heydays, back out there in the mid-'80s when he was a head coach then, and he's brought back a bunch of excitement to them. And, Reno's had a couple of good years even since in the last 2 or 3 years. They went to the quarterfinals and had Tulsa Central 3 years ago down. Played pretty good 2 years ago, and then last year was down a little bit, missed out on the playoffs and stuff. But yeah, Coach Cobble's back out there. They got a lot of excitement, got a good junior class, got out of their 22 starters, I think 17 of them are juniors, so they're going to have a lot for this year and next year. They do a very good job. The Everhart kid is a small quarterback, but he's very quick, does some good things, is very dangerous when he gets in the open. They had the Dolphin kid at tailback returning. Both of those kids started as sophomores last year. Dolphin and his brother both, who play center, are state champion wrestlers, and then the Solomon kid is also will come in the backfield sometimes when they're in what we call our flex set. He's a 6'1", 220-pound state champion wrestler also. So they've got some very good talent, good athletes. Coach Cobble's got them very disciplined out there this year, and it should be a great game.
Offensively, you looked at the game film. How did everything go with you? Skylar Smith, I don't know, a lot of people expect him to see at tight end to catch the ball. Is that something McGuinness gave, or is that something you're looking to utilize this season?
Well, we didn't run any of our play-action passes in the scrimmage, and certainly we've always had that, but in the past we haven't been getting open from the tight end. But Skylar, he's a good threat. He's got great hands, got good speed for a big man, and it's hard to bring down in the open, and so that was a pleasant surprise. Certainly, when we were practicing all week, our V-outs and our whip routes was what was open, but Keaton saw it open in the middle and was able to get it to him, and then it just become a favorite target there on that bootleg play for a while. I'm sure that right now El Reno's a little concerned about that. I know as it used to be as defensive coordinator, anybody that had a tight end that was dangerous like that, it puts so much stress on your defense because it's usually your linebackers that's going to have to help out with that. And if there's any play action, they got to be run responsible first, and then to get back and cover an athlete like Skylar is very tough to do. So that's certainly, I think, going to be a pleasant surprise for us on the year offensively.
Offensive and defensive lines were the question mark going in. How'd they grade out first week?
Well, right now, our defensive line, we stunting a lot, and they did a very good job. Offensive line, we did well enough. We got on our man, as Coach Mick always wants to do. I know we had a few mistakes. Our pass blocking was pretty good for the most part. They did get a couple of times in there and get some pressure on us. Had a couple of holding penalties we'd certainly like to have back because one of them nullified about a 40-yard gain. But other than that, I thought the kids really played well. And, again, that was just a very good football team that's playing against. And then first, you're going to make some mistakes. I always say your two biggest jumps in the season is after your first scrimmage to your second scrimmage and after your first game to your second game. So we're looking for a lot of improvement.
Your thoughts on the first road trip of the season with some new faces that will be on the field for the first hostile environment?
That's right. We're going to cover a few things here at the start of the season with some of our young kids. We had the other night, we had obviously the huge game and big-time atmosphere. This week we're going to have not only away, but it could be in muddy conditions. We'll see if we got any mudders out there or anything, how they go with the elements, and then just the fact that, again, this is an old district foe and a big rivalry for us.
Your thoughts on possibly the largest crowd ever, and I know it was the biggest gate at Guthrie since you've been here for sure.
Mm-hmm. It was a fantastic crowd. It was loud. We come out to go through the run through, and I look out and there's 100 yards of people out on the field, so we probably had 400 people out on the field, but you looked up in the stands and they were completely full. I don't know where those other 400 people went after they got off the field, but it had to be cram-packed. It was our biggest money gate ever. Again, last year with the Shawnee crowd, I think it was as big, if maybe not a little bit bigger, but as far as gate, that was our biggest gate we've had in the 8 years I've been here.
Coach, best of luck against El Reno and win number 2.
All right, thank you.
Head coach Rafe Watkins.